Yo, what's good guys? This is Chris from WearTesters.com. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look at these bad boys right here. This is a classic, man. This is originally known as the Nike Air Max 3, nowadays known as the Nike Air Max 90. And these are back for the first time in a long time. I think the last time that they released, we did a video
on how to lace your shoes.
The video wasn't supposed to be about how to lace your shoes. That was just like a side thing. But for whatever reason, that video, it's like our only video that has reached the 1 million mark and beyond. And I think it's so weird.
Check it out, see how far we've come.
Yeah, the old videos, well, even the new videos are hard for me to watch. I don't like watching myself. But that was the last time that this guy retroed. However, this is the first time that these guys have retroed as true to the original form as possible. It's almost like Nike and Jordan Brand are like on the same page at this point, where Jordan Brand started what they called the remaster program, and they have been taking shoes down slowly but surely to look a lot closer to the original product that someone like myself just kind of like remembers a little bit better than maybe the newer generation. And Nike's starting to do that. They've been doing it with certain releases, something like the Air Max Triax 96, which is a shoe that we reviewed recently. And they do everything from the tech specs to the scale of the shoe and the way that the panels are, like the measurements of the panels, all the way down to the box. And that's something that I really like about these. This is like a stupid thing for a lot of people, but for people that are into shoes, like hardcore into shoes, let me re-emphasize hardcore into shoes. So I'm not talking about new hardcore fans, I'm talking about old people that are still fans. If you remember this box and you open this and you're just like brought back to 1990, man, like that is what I love. And that's what I get when I get like the black and red Air Jordan 11 and that original style box. I open it, I'm like, man, I remember this. Flashing back all the way to the original era in which you bought the shoes, this box is tiny. It's weird. And even the larger sizes are in this box. That was actually something that I did not like if I'm gonna critique anything. But again, it's probably that OG feel where I open up the box, the shoes are kind of crammed in there. They don't have shoe trees in them or anything like that. And so they have this little indent and divot inside the shoe because they're literally hugging each other. They're spooning. Now again, these things are as close to the original as possible. I only have pictures and images to go off of. And from what I could tell, it's really hard. The thing is that when you grow up with the retro version of this shoe in all of its different iterations and ultras and whatever forms that they've done to it, and then you see it revert back as close to the original as possible, you're kind of like, what is this foreign object that looks like an Air Max 90, but not the Nike Air Max 90 that I'm used to? I feel that way about the 11s, the patent leather cuts and stuff. So when I see them back in the original form, I'm kind of like, whoa, this is weird. It's jarring. It almost doesn't look like a real shoe. These almost look like fake Nike Air Max 90s, but they're not. It's so weird to me, but I also think it's cool. Now, some of the things that they've tried to do to make these more like the original is the materials. The materials are very close from what I can tell in images to the original models. One thing that I will say that they didn't quite come close to is the suede right here. Just the images that I see, I don't know if it's because maybe the shoe's old or whatever, but the images that I've been seeing online, it looks like they use suede, and this is just a microfiber. Like, it feels nicer than the regular pairs that you would see just wherever, but it just feels like a felt. So I don't like that, but everything else, like the mesh, put your foot in there and the shoe really fills out and gets its shape and everything, which I think is very interesting. And then on top of that, when your foot is in there, you can actually feel like this mesh is doing its job. It's nice and breathable. It's awesome. They've also restructured things like the back tab right here. This is supposed to look as close to the original as possible. Same thing with this little guy right there. They threw on the old school chain on there, which is dope. And for whatever reason, these feel a little bit more comfortable than the ones that I've had in the past. Like the polyurethane midsole that they've got here just feels a little bit softer. The insole's a little bit softer. The press release said that there was a little Easter egg inside because it's got the Air Max 1 outsole. I don't think that's really an Easter egg. Now, one thing that I do think is very interesting that they used in the product description for this guy right here on something like sneakers is it's like the same exact thing that they used originally back in 1999 in this original ad, where it says that the shoe has more air cushioning, more plush padding, and more support. And that's exactly what they talk about in the product description of these. It's got more padding, more support. It says something about luxurious materials. And I was like, what? There's something. Nope. It's all synthetic. So I thought that was funny, but everything else I just really like. I like the presentation. It just screams 90s awesomeness. The outsole, nothing really to talk about. You got that waffle outsole right there. The lugs on there are massive. I can't believe that people used to run in this stuff. Like seeing the shoes that you run in now.
Yeah, but I don't believe we got to fully go over it in that Infinity review, but a great trail shoe has those lugs.
I get that, but still, most of the shoes today don't have these.
Yeah, because
you know that it's a trail shoe because it's got spikes all over it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I think that's dope. The tooling though, look at this compared to what you were running in.
Yeah.
This is so thin. So yeah, so I think this is really dope. This is a huge air unit as well, so it encompasses the entire heel section of the shoe. And then there's nothing in the forefoot that I'm aware of. I believe it's just all polyurethane. The insole, it's a denser insole, so again, closer to the original stuff, which I think is great. It's not that thin, ultra fluffy ortholite that feels great when you first step in it and then bottoms out after you take a few steps. And then just like the Air Max Triax 96, they included, what are those called? Stickies?
Pedals?
Pasties?
Yeah.
Pasties, is that what they got the little pasties on there. These are not for nipple chafage, okay? Which is a real thing in runners.
For men. I don't really know any women who get it.
Really? Women don't have that problem?
Well, because we have sports bras that keep us in place while it's the men's shirts bouncing up and down across their nipples.
Serrating the shit out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting sweaty, there's salts.
Because I know when I play basketball, because I like to wear long sleeve compression.
Yeah.
It keeps all the sweat off my hands and I can do this and all that stuff. When those shirts start to get old and I start to do this and I start cutting underneath my nose, it really hurts.
Yeah.
But I can't help it. It's just something that I do.
Well, imagine that's your nipples.
I know. That's exactly what I was thinking. And I was like, oh my God. But anyways, you got the little arch supports that are included inside the box, which is really cool. You just stick them on there, literally, like there's little sticky tape. That's something that I think is interesting too. Like the arch, your arch is here and it's so flat, you know what I mean? Besides the drop. Everything that they know back then, or knew back then, I should say, to what they know now in performance running is so drastically different. Same thing with basketball. High tops, support. Not really, placebo. You know what I mean? Like it's so interesting just how far things have gone. Like way back in the day when people thought that a stick with wet cloth was sufficient toilet paper.
For everybody to share.
Yes, for everyone to share, because somehow that was a good idea. Bob and Chris, you guys wipe your butt with the same stick.
Hold on, I missed a spot. Can you pass that back?
Like, can you imagine? I know this is not quite the same thing, but I'm just saying, like, society and science and all that stuff has just, in such a short amount of time, boy, have we improved just a little bit. As far as sizing is concerned, I would go true to size if you like that perfect fit. That's what I like. My toe is like right at the edge, fills up the shoe perfectly. And again, the step and comfort, for whatever reason, I don't know if they changed something with the midsole, but it just does not feel quite like a brick like they used to. The retail price on them is $120. I find that that's pretty reasonable, especially when we're paying like $190 for like a retro Jordan or whatever. I know that it's a different thing. There's like iconic moments and imagery and championships and all that stuff, and there's not really that stuff with running shoes. But you guys are what made these things iconic, because these things just, again, they've become a classic. It's become a cult classic. Did you know that this not only is an original colorway, but what they consider the infrared nowadays? Remember those with the like the bright oranges, fiery red?
Yeah.
That original shoe was not actually infrared.
What color was it?
Fun fact, man, that was like hyper orange or some weird orangey color. And then over the years, as it's retroed, it's just transitioned into what people call infrared. Even the brand will call it infrared. But it never was originally infrared. It was a bright ass orange. That's how convoluted stuff gets. It's the telephone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You hear it one way, you tell it that person slightly different, slightly different, slightly different. All of a sudden you're in the year 2020 and you're like, everything that was original about this, we got to now remake because something happened. And now we have this. And with that all out of the way, it's the moment that you've all been waiting for.
I don't know where to go from here. We covered nipple chafage and old time toilet paper. So.
Do you like this shoe or not?
I just know I have a pair of them and I always.
No, you have a pair of Air Max 1s. You don't have the 90s.
It's hard because they do look very similar.
They do.
Like, what does the shoe in between them look like? Because isn't it an Air Max per year? Or did they not do it like that back then?
No, they did. This was the original Air Max 3. Mm-hmm. So that was the Air Max 1. So there was one model in between.
Because it's always those two that I see, is the 90 and the 1.
Yeah, they're the ones that just are constantly like in circulation and stuff.
It's kind of like the Jordan 2, how everybody forgets about it.
Nobody forgets about it. They just purposely ignore it.
And so there's
fans of the shoe are like, come on guys, there's a second model. I was gonna say it's closer to when Jordan Brand did the 23, and they were like, okay guys, this is the last Air Jordan. And then the following year they did, it's not the Air Jordan, it's the Air Jordan 2009. Mm-hmm. And then they did 10, 11, 12, and then they were like 28. You know what I mean?
Go.
Yeah. You guys like numbers? Roman numerals?
Come back to us.
Please.
We need your money.